Good afternoon, YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle, a happy medium. And in this video tutorial, and off the back of a few different topics, questions, people, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how many guides. We're going to talk a little bit about the intelligence realm guides. And I'm going to give you some sort of understanding from my perspective of the understanding of how many, if too many, why maybe too many, and just some of the questions that were brought up on my live stream on Tuesday evening, I think, with respect to this question. So welcome back to everybody who is joining us. For those who have maybe just stumbled across this video, I'm Danielle, as I say. Maybe come on over to the channel and maybe subscribe, share or like a video, and we welcome each and every one of you who may be watching at this time. So like I say, in this video tutorial, I want to talk a little bit about guides. And in the video, I am going to put at the end of the playlist a section on guides and my understanding of guides in my mechanics and my intelligence of the spirit world. But this one was brought to me quite a lot, especially, over the last, I would say, a week or 2 weeks. And many people have asked me why it is that we have lots of different guides. So teaching guides, main guides, doorkeepers, and all these types of things. And these are just some of them. Healing guides, another one. And what we first have to understand here is that these are labels. We're sticking labels on here. Labels with connections to what we need or what our mind needs in order to be able to place these particular individuals. Now, the intelligence is that every guide that is in the spirit world has done extensive knowledge or has learned extensive knowledge in order to work with our mind, in order so that us as the individual can work to the best of our ability doing mediumship. Now, you may have heard that we have one guide that is given to us at birth. You may have heard that saying within the industry. I'm sure many of you watching the channel may. For those who haven't, this is I believe, a myth in the spiritual realms, or just old sort of structures, old sort of understanding that has been brought through the years, these types of things, different teachings, understanding, etc, 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 etc. One thing we do have, and one thing we all get, is a guardian angel. Now, a guardian angel is a person who, or a energy, the best way to put it is an energy that will have been with you from birth, will be assigned to you from birth. And that individual will watch over you, will take care of you, and will try to keep you on the straight and narrow, as best way I can put it. This particular individual, or this particular label is the best way I can put it, has done extensive knowledge, learns a lot, doesn't really get involved here. This is a separate matter, and we're going to get into that in a minute. This is of a higher consciousness. This is of a higher vibrational energy. This particular individual may watch over 500 people, but you will be one of them 5. It may watch over 1,000, just depending on how many individual minds it's been assigned to. This individual is there only to monitor, cannot get involved in your life choices. You have free will in all that you do, but it will monitor and assist where possible, all right, without maybe you even knowing about it. So let me give you an example. It may be you here in your mind just randomly turn left and you will miss a major car accident, or you will, you've just stepped out, once, two in front of that car, and if you've been 2 seconds late, you would have been hit by the car or a bus or whatever it may be. That's an interpretation or a understanding of that energy, all right? This energy does not work in this parameter. So this parameter here is where we start getting into the guide link. Now, many of you have heard doorkeepers, gatekeepers, whatever it may be. Again, it's terminology, it's labeling. So lots of us like to label. We need to label as humans so that the conscious mind, or us as the individual, understands it better. Now, many people I've been speaking to over the last couple of weeks have been telling me they've got like 10 and 15 guides in their team. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to stick my hand straight up here and go, I'm not here to say that's right, wrong, or indifferent. All I'm going to give you is the intelligence, and then you can make a decision from that perspective. What I will say to you is having these many people in your team is going to be really, really mind-blowing when you're first starting doing your mediumship, and especially when we're first looking for guides. And what I have understood in my intelligence over the years, when I first started out, I was doing a lot of this. Doorkeepers, teaching guides, main guides, etc, 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 because that was how I'd been taught. That was how my understanding when I first started in my mediumship. My understanding has changed quite significantly in respect of guides over the years, and after I've done more extensive knowledge in learning and working with multifaceted different energies within the spiritual realms. What I would always say to people is you don't need all of these people. That's just from my perspective. Some people will want all them people. I'm okay with that. But I'm going to give you something to think about, and then you can make an understanding from that. The intelligence is that every guide that comes forward to us, taking away the labels, so lose the labels. So say, for example, just this individual come forward and they were just a guide. They will have been given to you, or they will have come forward from the spirit world with all the intelligence that they need to help you progress, move forward, or to help you understand your mediumship more. Now, what may happen is yes, other energies may come forward. Sorry, I'm running out of space here. Now, if you already have a team in place, for example, my team, there is a couple in my team. There's one in particular you've heard me talk about here on the channel, which is Chief. Now, Chief is my, let's put it as a main guide, because that's going to be a better label, but he's just the man that I talk to on a regular basis. It's where my mind sits comfortably with. It's where my mind is happiest is. It's where my mind has learned to build this relationship with that particular individual. Now, what if there was another, so let's use an example. So say, for example, one of my other guides who, I know they're there and I'm aware of them, and, I chat to them. I don't chat them very often, but I chat to them from time to time. But anyway, say, for example, that other individual steps forward and I will talk to them, but I may not be able to work with that individual as well as I would Chief. So sometimes what will happen is the information that other individual is trying to get through will be bled through Chief to bleed through me, because it's going to get through my mind easier. So when people say to me, you need all of these guides, I have to work with the intelligence that's being presented to me. The intelligence is that each and every guide has everything it needs in order to take you forward, one individual. And what we can do is have others who will step forward, and if you want them to assist in your team, they can. Or what can happen is the knowledge can be fed through the one guide that you're working with, and that can stay and be given to that guide that's then given to you. So there's no real need for all of these guides in respect of mediumship. The only time you're going to have a specific guide, one, is when we get down, let me just clean this board, is when we get down the road of spiritual healing. All right. Now, a lot of guides can do multifaceted things. They all have multifaceted, which is where the intelligence comes in. They're all multifaceted. They've all done extensive knowledge within the spiritual realms. But when we're doing healing, spiritual healing, we may and could have a particular guide who just comes for that specific person, a specific thing. Another one is a trance guide, who specifically is just designed in these particular areas. Now, this can again go back to the thing that I just said before. This information can be fed in for trance, and then that guide can step back, and your other guides who are already with you can learn and grow and do that knowledge with you. But normally, if we're going to do healing, there's going to be that particular guide for that set project. Now, many multifaceted guides in the spirit world. Labeling is only but what we need as an individual. And when we learn to understand and use the intelligence as we have it and readily available to us, we become very less interested in the labels and more interested in just the energy and what that energy can bring to the table. It's not about the labeling, because lots of people think because we have doorkeepers or gatekeepers that we need to, excuse me, we need to be protected from something in the spirit world. There's nothing bad in the spirit world. So therefore, the understanding of this gatekeeper or doorkeeper is a little sort of old school is the best way we can put it. It's a little old fashioned in a respect of an understanding. It's old understanding of the intelligence. It's not using the intelligence correctly. So we may have a particular guide who comes forward who's a lot more stable. That energy might feel stable, so it makes you feel protected is the best way I can put it. You may get a particular energy that steps forward that's very gentle, very sort of subtle, very sort of easygoing, which may be where we want to use emotions in the particular, you know, characteristics of our communications. So we have to understand when we're doing this type of understanding, we have to understand where the mind is and are we using the intelligence in the right way in order so that we are getting the best from our team and that we're not adding a lot of labels in order so that we feel comfortable within our mediumship practices. Because really what is going on is we don't feel comfortable. That's what we're saying. When we're saying we have to have these labels, we have to have this, we have to have that, we have to have the other, there's still needing to be some allowances here made within the mind. The mind's still being restricted. So you've got to learn to accept and understand that when you understand that you don't need these labels, you don't need this, you don't need that, and you don't need all these people, you will find that your mediumship or your mind is expanding, it's growing. Now, another one that people might shout at me is a name. Why do we need a name for a guide, Danielle? Let me just clear this board. Again, it's about a label. It's about us needing to label something, needing to understand it, needing to accept it. So let me give you a little bit of example. So in the last couple of weeks, a new guide has approached my team looking to work with us. And I always look for, I'm not always looking for new guides, but should somebody approach, I'm always interested to hear what they've got to say. You know, what it is that they can maybe give to my team, whether I allow them in or not. They may want to just share that knowledge and move on. They may want to join the team for a little while and then move on. It just depends on where we're sitting within them parameters. But this guide isn't, when I was first starting out my mediumship, I was desperate, had to have a name, you know, had to have this sort of, you know, labeling of the doorkeeper connection, or, you know, what was your purpose, you know, this type of understanding in respect of, when I say purpose, it was like, what's your purpose as in the doorkeeper, main guide, you know, healing guide, not as in the purpose of what knowledge could you share with me. There's a different way. You got to be careful when you're questioning guides. What's the purpose? Is a purpose in of this label, or is a purpose in of sharing knowledge? Which is it? All right, so keep that in mind there. So getting to the story, this video is a little bit longer because it's important that we really get down to the nitty gritty. This new guide stepped forward. And I said to Chief, I'm going to do things a little differently this time. And Chief will always support if I want to do something a little bit differently. I have not yet asked this lady for a name. I haven't asked this lady for nothing. All I've gone on is the feeling of her and what she has come to share her knowledge on. That is it. I haven't asked her anything about her. I haven't asked, you know, her name, anything like that. I trust in the fact that she wouldn't have presented herself unless it was important for either myself, my team, or there's something that she has to share with me that will then take or elevate my mediumship to the next level. So what I want to say to those who are here at the moment, that's okay. What you're doing is still learning and progressing, and that's fine. But you will get to a point in your mediumship where you will become just allowing and of that energy. You just become allowing of that guide that steps forward. You will just come to accept that that energy is there because it's there for all the right reasons. When your mind is less and less fearful and less labeling and restrictive and structured, then you'll find that you just allow these energies to move in and out. Obviously, we have to make sure when we're questioning this guide, and which I have done, you know, just double checking they're not a, you know, I love one, because obviously I work quite significantly for the spiritual world. So, you know, sometimes loved ones will step forward before the time is right, because my mind's in the spirit world quite a bit. So, you know, there can sometimes be a bit of a crossover there, and I can get a bit caught out from time to time. So making sure that you at least question and make sure that the energy that stepped forward is a guide and that they have come for that purpose and they're not a loved one, because I have known a lot of mediums who have been asking for guides and have subsequently let loved ones in thinking they were guides when they were really loved ones. So we be monetarian in that respect when you're questioning. Other than that, there should be definitely lots and less labelling and less guides. There is no medium, or let me rephrase that. I work with lots of different professional mediums, and I talk to lots of different mediums for lots of different reasons, just a big understanding of knowledge and guidance in that respect, and understanding how others work in respect of how I work. And it's not that I'm not going to change my mediumship, it's just general understanding, more understanding of different teams. I don't know many professionals who have 15 guides, 10, 15 guides in a team. Now, that's not to say it is impossible. I'm just saying that I know that there's lots and lots. And that's because people have become more and more aware of the intelligence and using the intelligence in the right way. So have a little bit of a think on this one. Let me know in the comments box. Light it up. You know, where do you sit within these parameters? Does it resonate with you, this video? Or is it just sort of, you know, not for you? I noticed some people have been putting thumbs down. I've said I want to sort of address this. You know, if you don't agree, let me know why you don't agree. I'd be really interested to know, you know, where you sit within them parameters, or why it is that you don't like the videos, that, you know, there's something within the saying or something that doesn't quite resonate with you. Let me know, because it's really important, because I'm always interested to learn as well from your perspective as my own. So in this video, we've talked about how many guides? You know, do you really need all them guides? Do you need that labelling? Ask yourself them questions. Check in with you, see where you sit within them parameters. Let me know in the comments box. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you thumbs it down, let me know why you've thumbs it down. I'd be interested to know. Share it with friends, by all means. I'm always welcoming, you know, sharing, subscribing, or just general chit chat, as long as we keep it professional and we don't start to get aggressive and mean and nasty, because we got to understand everybody's got a different opinion, and I'm okay with that. So in this video, it's been a pleasure talking to you all again. It's nice to have you all here with me, and hopefully I'll see you all on Saturday. Well, we'll see you all Saturday or Sunday. Take care of yourselves, keep safe, stay home, and we'll see you all Saturday or Sunday. Bye for now.